Hello and welcome to my channel, Hotel Reviews and Stunning Scenery. Now in this video, we're going to be reviewing the Xperience Sea Breeze Resort in Sharm El Sheikh. Now we're starting outside in the entrance leading to the reception area. Quite a grand and majestic looking entrance with some palm trees outside, mini pools. There's also a seated area just around there where people can sit, chill, smoke, chat to each other, things like that. And we will now enter the hotel reception area. Quite a nice looking reception. Definitely does resemble a 5-star hotel. Now we enter the hotel rooms, and you can see it is quite a spacious room, but some of the decor was slightly dated. This was actually a swim up room, so we're just taking a step outside where you can see the pool there in the background. Now this is one of 5 pools in this hotel, but we will get onto that shortly. Beautiful view. Turn back round, we're going back into the room now. There was actually an area outside with a clothes area, so if you were to wash your clothes by hand, you could hang them outside to dry, which is good. The TV there you can see in the background wasn't the biggest. And there also is a charge for room service, which isn't ideal because it was supposed to be an all-inclusive hotel. So some all-inclusives do give you free room service as well, but this one doesn't. The table came with some free water, which was great, but there wasn't any milk for the tea and coffee, so you had to go to the bar and ask for it. Now myself, as soon as I get up, I love a coffee in the morning with a splash of milk in there, so it was a bit of an inconvenience. Now we enter the bathroom, quite dated yet again. The shower wasn't, the newest, most modern shower either. You can see it there in the background. They did provide soaps in there. There was plenty of towels, things like shampoo as well, body wash and hand wash. You also get some free slippers, which was good, a nice touch. The Wi-Fi in the room didn't work too great though. Now moving on to the restaurants and catering in the hotel. This is one of 2 restaurants that serve breakfast, and as you can see, there's things like pastries, fruit, cereals. They had some kind of Egyptian pastry thing in the background there, it resembled a croissant, which was quite nice. Beef, bacon, which was actually nicer than it looked, believe it or not. Eggs. Then we've got some things like mashed potato, don't know why they serve that for breakfast, but hey. Beans were okay, nothing too special. Sausages, not great. I'm not going to pretend they were nice, they weren't. And that tray was empty there. We'll just take a walk around the canteen. You can see they've also got a coffee machine in the background. The coffee was quite weak for my liking, so often I found myself adding sachets of coffee in there to make it a bit stronger. Moving on to lunchtime now. We're actually in a different restaurant from the previous one we had breakfast in. This was the main restaurant in the hotel. You can see things like fruit there, got cakes and pastries. Now I'm going to be honest, the cakes weren't my favourite. They all looked different but tasted exactly the same. Quite plasticky tasting, which wasn't great. There was a hot counter where the chef made fresh pasta dishes for you, things like bologneses, doing stir fries just there. Around here we have salad bar, things like sauces, cheeses, mixed salad, and then fresh salad like cucumbers, leeks and tomatoes as well. Over here the buffet continues with some crab that was surprisingly quite nice. There's also things like chips, stews, or plenty of other dishes for people to choose from. I was quite fond of the soups. The soups were quite impressive and definitely one of my favourite things in the buffet. Nice fresh breads as well that were there daily. Nice variation. We've got a couple more dishes here and some juices. Now we finish on dinner, which was served in the Elements restaurant, the same restaurant that breakfast was served in. And this was a barbecue, but you did have to book it at reception. We're starting with the salad bar. We had a great variation of salads and sauces. Then we move on to the dessert section. There were some great local delicacies like baklava, basbousa, other small pastries. I did find the baklava and basbousa very delicious. I had a few helpings. And then we walked around here to the hot counter. They had things like mashed potatoes, lasagna, which was really nice. Then you had some other things like stir-fried veg, roast potatoes, rice. Nice fresh breads again and soup. And we'll take a walk round to where the barbecue was being prepared. So some of the meats they had on offer was chicken and beef koftas, which were quite nice. Now, as this hotel was quite big, it took around 5 minutes to walk from one side to the other, so there was a shuttle bus you could get from the reception area that took you to your room block. Now, this was a great service for anyone who didn't fancy the walk or who had tired legs from swimming all day like myself. Which brings me on to the next section, which is the swimming pools. Now, there was 5 swimming pools in this hotel, and this was the main one, which was located right in the center of the hotel. And as we walk around, you can see it also has a bar area. We can get things like ice cream. They also serve drinks during the day, alcoholic drinks, and you can also get food. They do snacks like burgers, chips, and hot dogs. So if you don't want to go to one of the main restaurants, you can just come out here, sit by the pool, and enjoy the sun whilst you eat a light lunch. This was the second main pool in the hotel. Now, both this and the other pool were both heated, and as you can see, the animation team there are doing water aerobics, which was a daily activity that you could take part in. They also had foam parties, which as you can see going in the background here, there's plenty of bubbles and foam flying around. Now, the other 3 pools were smaller, a lot quieter as well. So for those people that maybe wanted a bit of peace and quiet while they soak up the sun, they could come to these other pools that were dotted around the hotel. These pools weren't heated though, they were cold water pools. Now, moving on to the hotel beach area. It wasn't your traditional beach that you sometimes find at the back of hotels. This was actually a man-made beach. Essentially, it was a balcony that hung over the sea, and it had some sun loungers, some sand, and this bridge that you can see is walking across, which you could actually jump into the sea, do things like snorkeling, a bit of diving if you wanted to dive. There were some lifeguards there. And yeah, it was actually quite a nice clear sea. I actually went for a swim in there myself that I really enjoyed. So you can see as we get closer, some lifeguards, a few people sunbathing, and an area where you could swim in the sea. Quite a beautiful view. There was also options for life jackets if you weren't the most confident swimmer. Here you can see some of the guests swimming in the sea, enjoying the waves. As we entered the gym and spa area, it's quite a typical looking Middle Eastern, North African entrance. We have some canvas paintings there, and the decor does resemble like North African hammam that you go to for a spa. And we enter now. You can see the receptionist there and the gym here, which is quite a basic gym actually. A lot of the equipment didn't work. You know, it was only good for doing a light session. You had a few dumbbells, a couple of barbells, but it wasn't the sort of gym you go to if you wanted to do an intense workout. It was more your standard hotel gym that you find abroad, you know, somewhere you just come to start the day right, get a quick little workout and then go out and enjoy the sun. Now this is the spa area where you can see they have massage beds in the background, and they also had a reception area where you could sit as you were waiting to get served, or if you were waiting for someone that was going into the spa, you could also wait for them there. The final section of this hotel review video takes us to the hotel bar, where as you can see they show things like football, and there's a seating area and the bar where you can get drinks like alcohol, coffees, teas, soft drinks, depending on what you drank. There was something for everyone. I myself didn't drink alcohol, so I stuck to the soft drinks. You can see now, we'll come back in and have a look at the drinks menu that's on offer. So they have alcoholic beverages and non-alcoholic cocktails as well, something for everyone. They also serve sandwiches in this bar at night time. So that concludes this hotel review video, and my rating, to be honest, I'd probably give it a 4-star, not a 5-star. It is a great hotel and there's something for everyone, but it definitely doesn't live up to your European standard of 5-star. There was a few issues, you know, for example with the room, you had to pay for room service, the Wi-Fi wasn't great at all, and some of the food wasn't the best as well, especially the desserts. There was only one night where the desserts were actually quite nice. The rest, they tasted quite plasticky and not the greatest. But as mentioned, if you're looking for a hotel that doesn't break the bank and you want to visit Sharm El Sheikh, then I would recommend this hotel. As mentioned, there is something for everyone, and it's quite a beautiful place with nice warm weather. So thank you guys for watching my review video. I'll leave it there. Take care.